What's up guys, Sharon here, and wow, looks like the first tier list video was actually kind of a success. So, like I promised, I was going to do a Super Monkey Ball 2 as well. Now, Super Monkey Ball 2 is my third Monkey Ball game, and Deluxe is actually my second. So, a lot of these stages are also part of my childhood, and honestly, Super Monkey Ball 2 is the first game I've beaten in the series, so this will be exciting. I have a lot of love for Super Monkey Ball 2, so let's get started. And here are the Monkey Ball 2 stages. There are actually a lot of them. There are 136 this time, as opposed to 109. So, this will be very interesting. And since there are so many stages this time, I have a Z tier now, which is for stages that are absolutely worse than the F tier. And trust me, this game has a lot of those. And by a lot of those, I mean like one or two. Like, I actually don't even mean a lot. There are a couple stages here that I'm just like, why do they exist? Anyways, let's get started with the beginner stages. Alright, first up is Simple. And Simple is better than plain for Monkey Ball 1. It's still a hold up to win it. It's still very easy and stuff. But it's got bananas around it. It's got a little nice aesthetic added to it. So, I don't know. I would put Simple in the C tier, but I'm going to put it in the B tier. Next up is Holo, and Holo is actually a really good stage. I think it's one of the best beginner stages in the entire series. It may look simple, but it's a nice way to go around the stage and, be introduced to half pipes. And also, if you're good enough, you can do this really sick strategy to go really fast on it. So I'd actually put Holo in the S tier. I know we already have an S tier, but it's good. Things are looking up. Let's hope. Anyways, next up is Bumpy. Bumpy is an alright stage. It's nothing too crazy. It's just a bunch of bumps. And it's pretty fun, honestly. You can go fast on it, you can go slow on it. And there's an interesting braille text. I forgot what it says though. Someone in the comments let me know. I honestly forgot what the braille says. But it's kind of a nice Easter egg, so I'm actually going to put Bumpy in the B tier as well for Bumpy. And next is Switches. Switches is a nice stage that introduces switch mechanics, and which will be used for a lot of future stages, and I mean a lot. And this stage is a nice little introduction, and there's a cool warp goal that's not super challenging. I put Switches in the A tier. So far so good. Unlike SMB1, which have pretty boring beginner stages, SMB2 is pretty good with those. Bowl, rising inclines, tug, whatever you call this stage. It's an alright bonus stage. It's really hard to get all the bananas, which I feel like that's the point of the bonus stages. Which I will say, this game has some pretty mediocre bonus stages. But Bowl's an okay stage overall, so I'm going to put him in the C tier. Next up is Floaters. Floaters is a pretty cool stage. It's just got blocks that move up and down, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. You can go around them. You don't really have to be with them anyway, so I'm also going to probably put Floaters in the C tier. This one, slopes, tug, rising inclines, whatever you call it. It's pretty fun. I think it's a cool level. You can also do a cool strategy on it, but it's like really it. So I'd put this one in the B tier as well. Sliders is next, and Sliders is probably a really good level. I don't know what it is about half-pipe levels in this game, but they're pretty good, honestly. There's a reason why Sliders is the Monkey Ball 2 stage that's been in the most games. It's been in 2, Deluxe, Touch and Roll, 1 for the iOS, I think, and then also Banana Splits. So Sliders has been in a lot of games. And I don't know, I really like the stage, and you can go fast on it too. It's a really good stage. Sliders, putting in the S tier for Sliders. Next up is Spinning Top, which, I don't know. The Spinning Top isn't really much of a threat in the first place. It looks intimidating, but it's just there. It can barely hurt you. And if it does hurt you, should you really be playing this game? Just kidding. But Spinning Top, it's not really fun, and bananas are hard to get, so I'm going to put in the D tier, honestly. And then you have Curvebridge, which is a level that I dread every time I play because it's just so long and boring, and even if you try to go fast, for me at least, I always miss the bridge at the end, so I gotta beat the stage with like less than 15 seconds left. So I always gotta wait for the bridge to cycle up. It's just so dumb, and that extra bridge really kills the stage. Sorry, Curvebridge, but I'm gonna have to put you in the F tier. And these are the beginner stages. Now, let's move on to the beginner extra stages, which, as a kid, these are one of the first stages that I saw, and honestly, these are very aesthetically pleasing. Let's get to them. Alright, beginner extra time. Now let's start with conveyors. It's weird how the first game has a stage called Conveyor, and then the second one, Conveyors, which has a little weird. But Conveyors is a hold up to win stage. The Conveyors don't really even pose a threat. And also the stage is actually different between story mode and challenge mode. In story mode, the first row of Conveyors is gone, and there are little holes on the side, but in challenge mode it's a lot harder. Nonetheless, both are still hold up to wins. There's not really much to it, so I'm gonna give Conveyors in the C tier for Conveyors. Bumpy Check is next, and just like Bumpy, it's pretty much the same, but it has holes in it. Cool challenge, honestly. Probably also put Bumpy Check in the B tier, just like its easier brother. Alternative is next, and Alternative is just a stage where you can go across moving platforms, and there's a fast forward switch for some reason. It doesn't really need to be, honestly. That kind of kills it a bit, because if you step on it by accident, you can't slow down the stage again. And the fast forward switch is like kind of impossible, even though it's not really well done, but it's just really hard. I don't know. I've never really been a fan of Alternative, so I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Junctions next, and Junctions a pretty decent level. It's just a long path, and then the warp goal is not too bad either. And also, like a lot of other stages, the stage is different between story and challenge mode. In story mode, the harder path is lower, so it's actually easier to get on it. In challenge mode, you have to speed up to get to the harder path. But overall, Junction's pretty fun. I'm gonna give it in the B tier though. Beat screen. I actually really like this level concept where you have to wait for everything to align and then you gotta pause it. Like, I have a couple custom stages myself where I've done that. And I've seen a couple of others, but Beat Screen is probably the first one that's did it, and I think it does it very good. And in one Monkey Ball hack, Super Monkey Ball 2 and 1, Beat Screen looks beautiful. It looks like with the rainbow colors. Shout out to Toothy. Also shout out to Toothy because he actually made this tier list and the other one. Love that guy. But Beat Screen, I think it's a really cool concept, and it's not too difficult, so I'm going to give it on the A tier for A screen. And its Fluctuation, it's pretty much just a harder floaters, but honestly, if you go fast, you're probably going to get stuck in between one of them and the goal. It's just, that's it, really. I don't really like the stage. Putting it in the D tier. Sorry, Fluctuation. No hard feelings. JK. All feelings are hard. Folders is next, and Folders is, it's a cool concept, but it's just a little weird to me how you just have to ride on the sides the whole time, unless you're going fast. But, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird, and also if you're starting out with the game, like this is a lot of people's first Monkey Ball game, they're going to be so confused of how to play this one. It's just, yeah, I don't know, Folders is a cool concept, but it's just executed so weirdly, honestly. I'm going to put Folders in the C tier. And next is Quick Turn, and Quick Turn is a stage that looks intimidating, but it's not. It's also a hold up to win, because if you hold up while pressing the fast forward switch, you win. I don't know, and also it's just why they could have done something else. It's called Quick Turn, but you go straight. I even tried once doing this with the play switch, and I still held up and won. I don't know. Quick Turn just, I'm putting that tier because it's just so easy. It looks cool though, I'll give you that. Linear Seesaws is next, and Linear Seesaws is a pretty simple stage, just your average seesaw level, and it's, I don't know, it's decent, I guess. There's nothing really to it. I'd probably put Linear Seesaws in the C tier. And next is Birth. So Birth is cool when you first start out. It utilizes the play, fast forward, and pause switch very good. Very good. Very well. My grammar's off today. But the only problem with Birth is if you're playing this stage for speedrunning, you have to use the fast forward. And sometimes that can be a little tricky, because pressing those pause switch can be a very tedious process. I've actually beaten this stage with the fast forward and play before, and it's not as bad, But if you play with the fast forward or play switch, it's not as, I guess it's more random, and it can get frustrating. So I don't know, Birth is an interesting stage. I'm going to put in the C tier as well. Alright, and that's the beginner extra stages. Let's move on to the advanced stages, which have a lot of cool aesthetics and a lot of cool concepts. Alright, now we start the advanced stages with Banks. Banks is pretty much kind of like simple and hollow in a way. You gotta follow a path. It's a pretty good stage for advanced actually. I think it's a good starter stage. You kind of like practiced already. You kind of know the basics. So we just start off advanced with something light and simple. So I think Banks deserves to be in the B tier. Next is Eaton Floor, and Eaton Floor is a very kind random stage. Like, well, its layout is random. You got just holes everywhere, but it's overall not too hard, and I think it's still a fun stage to play. I'll put Eaton Floor in the B tier as well. And next is Hoppers, and Hoppers is a cool level. However, in challenge mode, this stage is actually a hold up to win as well. I feel like that is a repeat offender in Super Monkey Ball 2 more than Super Monkey Ball 1. Hoppers, you only need to hold up to win in challenge mode. But in story mode, it's actually a little bit different because the starting platform is shorter. So actually, to win in Hoppers in story mode, you have to wait 1 second, then hold up to win. Oh my gosh, it's so much harder. But Hoppers is a cool concept and it looks cool aesthetically, but it's very laughably easy because of that strategy. So Hoppers is actually probably going to go to the C tier as well. Coaster is next, and Coaster is actually a really fun level. I think it's cool that you get to ride down a little tube and, soar to the goal. And you can go fast or you can go slow, and if you go fast you get rewarded with banana bunches. Or you could also jump down from the beginning, which is a little bit difficult, but it still saves a lot of time. Coaster is overall a really fun level, and I'd put that in the A tier, honestly. Board Park is next, and it's kind of similar to Bowl/Tub/Rising Inclines, but there's a little plank in the middle, 2 planks actually. But just like the other two, it's also really hard to get it perfect, even though that's not really your goal, but it's not really easy to get bananas on. But I'd say it's better than the others, but this is actually difficult. Actually, I think I put Board Park in the C tier as well. A lot of stages in the C tier, but there's a lot of average ones. Swell's next. Swell is a cool level. It's pretty simple, and it's actually fun to go fast and get all the bananas. I'd actually put Swell in the B tier. So, interesting one about this one, you guys in the comments said that I'd put this stage in S tier, and you see, I would put Gravity Slider in the S tier. The thing about Gravity Slider is, it's a hold up. And not only it's a hold up, it's a long hold up, but it is also a fun hold up. You get to go really fast and collect banana bunches, and when you do, you get to soar right into the goal. And I think that's pretty fun. My only issue is where it's placed. Like, why isn't it Advanced 7? I think it could have done well as like one of the later beginner levels. Replace Curvebridge. But I'm having a hard time debating if I should put this in the A tier or the S tier. You know what? Bump it. I'll put it in the S tier. Gravity Slider is awesome. Let's go. Inchworms is next, and Inchworms is, I believe, the first level in the game with a red goal, and that red goal is really hard, but it is really rewarding, and it's not super difficult too. I like the 3 different paths Inchworm uses, but this is also one of the first stages where you land on fast forward switches, just like quick turn hoppers, and I don't know, like that aspect of going backwards to get the play switch is a little frustrating at times, but I think it's okay, honestly, and Inchworms is a good concept, so I put Inchworms in B tier. And next up is Totalitarianism, which when I was a kid I had no idea what this word meant, and now that I'm older, I think the stage is a really funny name, very deep actually, but I don't know why it's called Totalitarianism, but honestly, it's just a simple crushers concept. The bananas help you stay safe, but honestly, I'm just going to put the stage in the A tier for the name alone, it's Totalitarianism. Oh boy. Anyways, Leveler's next, and I think Leveler is probably one of the worst bonus stages because it's not really consistent to get the goal on, and also it's super difficult to get bananas on it. So I'm probably actually gonna put Levelers in the F tier, sadly. Next is Organic Form. We start the underwater levels with this interesting level. This level just moves back and forth, and you land on a fast forward switch. But this level is actually really doable with a fast forward switch. I think Organic Form's a cool level, so I'm probably gonna put this one in the A tier. Reversible Gear is next, and this can be the run killer for people that are just starting Advanced for the first time. This stage is really hard. It's very precise of where you need to go, but once you know where to go, I think you should be okay. Reversible Gear is a stage that exists, honestly. It's really hard to get the banana bunches, and I don't think it's possible to get all bananas on this stage. But Reversible Gear is just an okay stage, honestly. But I don't really like the concept of this stage. It's kind of hard, so I'm going to put it in the D tier, sadly. Stepping Stones is next, and Stepping Stones is pretty basic, honestly. You just fall down to steps, and the right path is harder than the left for some reason. Missed opportunity to put a Wormhole there, especially because you skip the next stage, which is kind of boring. So, honestly, Stepping Stones I'd put in the C tier. And Dribbles is next, and this is what I meant by boring. Because first of all, with fast forward, this stage is really hard. And you land on a fast forward switch, you gotta go back to press the play switch. And even then, it's kind of long to do, and you gotta wait, and sometimes when you're not even on the square the ball hits, you still get launched, and that could screw you over. This stage is also a pain for speedrunners, because you gotta like clip to the goal using the ball. It's cool. I think it looks cool though, and it's a really cool concept having like little basketballs like dribbling on you. But I don't know, the stage is just not fun. Could have done it better. So Dribbles, I'd go in the D tier for Dribbles. Next is URL, aka, I don't know what that stands for actually. I don't know why. I should probably learn that. But the URL states http://www.amusementvision.com or supermonkeyball.com in Deluxe. And why do I say that? Because I just felt like saying it. Anyways, URL is a pretty fun stage. It's just a URL just pushing you. I mean, like, you didn't even really have to have the URL there. It could have just been a block pushing you. You could have called it something else. I don't know. If you're gonna call the stage URL, you should make, the URL do something rather than just the whole block do something and then the URL's on it. I don't know. The stage could have been a little bit better, but I think it was a cool concept overall. So I'd put URL in the C tier. Mad Rings is next, and Mad Rings is a pretty fun stage, honestly. I do like how there's a green goal and a red goal, and the red goal also gives a lot of bananas. So it's actually good if you're playing Deluxe and you're trying to do an ultimate run. This stage can help you skip 2 levels, one which kind of sucks, the other which is kind of boring, and you get a bunch of bananas to go with it. And the red goal is not even super difficult anyway. Mad Rings is a cool stage. I put it in the A tier. However, Curvy Options is not as fun. It's the first of option stages. There are 3 in this game, and a lot of Monkey Ball hacks use option stages inspired from this one. I've seen wobbly options, twisty options, zigzag options. There's a lot of them. Also powers of 10. But Curvy Options is not really fun. It's just a curved line, I guess. And honestly, any path but the thick one is kind of difficult for me, especially because wires. And I feel like that thinnest wire should have had a green goal, kind of like Choice in Super Monkey Ball 1, but it doesn't. And there's literally no point in taking that path unless you want to get all the bananas. But even then, I don't know. The stage is just not fun. I just put it in D tier. And Twister is not really fun either. It's just shakes you around and stuff, or you could hold up and somehow make it. And sometimes this stage can just throw you out, and it just gets kind of annoying. Or you have to wait it out inside the Twister. It looks cool though. So I don't know. I'd probably just give Twister a C tier stage. Yeah, I think that's fair. Downhill / Cascade, depending on the version you're playing, is next. Well, Cascade is an alright stage. There's not really much to it. You just go down rings. I think it's decent. A lot of people like this stage. I'd agree. Yeah, it's not so bad. I put it in the B tier. And the last bonus stage of Advance, Rampage. Get it? Because there's ramps everywhere. You know, doing the punny move is something I do. But Rampage is next, and getting the bananas here is such a pain. Honestly, these bonus stages, there are no incentives to get bananas. It's just, they're so difficult to get. Most of the time, people just go into the goal. Honestly, Rampage is going in the D tier. Pro Skaters is next, and we enter the Boiling Pot Worlds. Pro Skaters is a cool level. You get to see 2 goals that are skaters doing flips over a half pipe, or spins, more like a 720. But the pause switch is used to align the blue goal, which I think is a really cool concept. I actually really like the concept for Pro Skaters, and then the green goal doesn't stop, so that's an interesting one. I forgot how you do the strategy for the green goal. I think you gotta wait like 7 seconds and then hold up or something. Or is that coin slots? I don't even remember, honestly. Pro Skaters is a fun stage. I put it in the A tier. Giant Comb. Giant Comb. This is an advanced difficulty spike for the advanced level. It just gets really hard for no reason. Giant Comb should have been an expert, honestly. Giant Comb is an okay stage. You can go fast on it, but it's very hard. It's also kind of tedious if you don't go fast. But I think the concept of a comb spinning around is pretty interesting. So I think Giant Comb is also going to go in the C tier. Next is Beehive. Beehive's actually a really fun level. You get to go fast on it, or you get to just like chill and go around it. It's fun. It's Beehive, man. Nothing wrong with it. Put in Beehive in the A tier. Dynamic Maze is next, and maze stages aren't fun in Monkey Ball most of the time, but this is a maze stage with a twist, so maybe it is fun. But honestly, it's not much fun. The maze is very erratic, ironically, because in a Monkey Ball hack, there's a harder version of the stage called Erratic Maze, but Dynamic Maze has the stages moving up and down, and sometimes they can move down in front of you at your inconvenience, and it can get very frustrating. I usually just go around the left side. That's the quickest way to do it, I see. But Dynamic Maze isn't really a fun stage, honestly. I'm going to put it in the D tier. And Triangle Holes is next, and Triangle Holes is a hold-up. It looks intimidating. I wonder how you do the stage the normal way, because it's just a bunch of holes, and I really can't see how you do this one. But Triangle Holes is an okay stage. I put it in the C tier because it's just a hold-up, and there's nothing to it. Now, Launchers, you guys might disagree with me, but I actually like this stage. A lot of people hate this stage. It's very difficult for advanced, honestly, and I would agree, honestly. Launchers is, you get propelled up onto a tree. That's pretty cool, right? And the green goal is pretty difficult to get. And the blue goal is, you know, it's just there. It moves, I get it. It could be a little frustrating, but this stage actually is a really good stage that teaches the minimap. The minimap is actually very important on this level, and without it, honestly, the stage would be 10 times harder. The minimap is very useful on this level, and I do like this concept, so I'm actually going to put Launchers in the A tier, and I know I'm going to get flamed for that because Launchers is a hard stage. Randomizer is next, and I don't like random stages. This stage is kind of random of where you bounce to. The red goal, however, is really good if you're trying to speedrun. However, it's only easy to get it in the PS2 version of Deluxe. Any other time, it's going to be hard to get this red goal, but the red goal skips 2 boring stages, and I don't know, Randomizer's an okay stage. I put it on the C tier. However, Coin Slot sucks. I'm putting this in the F tier. I'm going to explain why. It's because if you miss all the goals, you lose, first of all. The goals are very slow towards the end, and you gotta really wait for them to bounce into their slot. The green goal is also especially hard. It's like this, I feel like this game just really doesn't want you to play the next stage. Just kind of like with Excursion, the first Monkey Ball. But, I don't know, and I think the quickest strat is like 13 seconds, which for speedrunners, that can suck because it's over 10 seconds. So most speedrunners just skip the stage. Coin Slot sucks, honestly. And Seesaw Bridges is not much better, honestly. Seesaw Bridge is a long, boring seesaw stage, and this game tries its hardest to skip it for some reason. It's not fun, honestly. I don't like seesaw bridges either. I'm putting this in the D tier. And Arthropod I also don't like, because Arthropod, while it has a cool concept in a spider just going around its rings, a lot of stupid stuff can happen on this level. You could try going for the goal at the beginning and jumping down, but the goal will move away from you. You can wait 20 seconds for the goal to come, and then it'll come, but you land just in the middle of the rings instead, or the spider just steps on you and you go through the floor. Or you're trying to get the goal, and then it pops up by the ring, and you barely miss it, and you go down. A lot of stupid BS can happen on Arthropod, and it's the final stage of Advanced, and it should be an expert, honestly. Arthropod is gonna go in the D tier. Anyways, these are the Advanced stages. This is where things get crazy, so Advanced Extra is next. Here we go. Starting off the Advanced Extra stages is Auto Doors. Auto Doors is a stage where it uses automatic doors from like malls or stores you see. It also is a fast forward play level, and once again you gotta go behind you, press the play switch. See, Auto Doors is okay, you gotta wait towards the end. I think it's a cool concept though. I'm probably gonna put it in the B tier. However, Heavy Spear is not fun. That stage has some weird collision, honestly. Like, sometimes you can go on the bridge, but you'll like bounce off the wall instead. And then sometimes the spear will hit you towards the goal, or the spear will hit you away. Like, the spear is like very random too, even though it just goes down and up. Heavy Spear is not a cool stage, honestly. It's D tier material for me. Stagger is an alright stage. Stagger is just platforms that move around. I don't really know what else to say about it. There's not much to it, so Stagger is C tier. UFO is a cool concept, but it can get a little frustrating if you don't know what you're doing. The UFO actually flips back very quickly, so you gotta go into the goal like that. Otherwise, you'll flip down and you gotta do it again. I don't know, UFO's fine, I guess. I don't know if I should put this in B or C tier. B tier, probably. I'm putting Domes in B, not Domes. UFO, tier. Domes is 2 stages from now. I was just thinking about my first C tier level. Anyways, Ring Bridges, yeah, is next. It's kind of boring, actually. I don't know. The stage is very boring. At the beginning of Advanced Extra is kind of forgettable, honestly. I guess one thing memorable about the stage is that the PS2 version of Deluxe, it's all in space, so that's cool because of graphical limitation. C tier, Ring Bridges, and Domes is going in the C tier because Domes sucks. Why is this an Advanced Extra? It should be a Master if anything, and even if you go fast, the stage is super inconsistent. Even if you go slow, the stage is inconsistent. Every time I get the stage, I dread. Not a fan of Domes. Not cool, dude. Amidala, I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know what the word Amida means, but all I can say is I don't like this stage either. It's pretty annoying. The bumpers are just everywhere, and the goal moves kind of fast, and I don't know, the stage could have been done better. D tier. Long Slider, however, is really fun. It's just a harder version of Sliders, and except you go really all the way down from all the way up at the skybox. It's pretty cool. It has a really fun fast strat as well. I love Long Slider. Long Slider definitely deserves a spot in the S tier. Grid Bridge is next, and Grid Bridge is just your average grid stage, but it turns, and also you have to slow down the stage with the play switch. It's okay, honestly. I can't say much about it. Grid Bridge is going in the C tier. Next is Teapot. Teapot is one of 2 stages from this game to have 30 seconds. And if you miss the goal, you have to kill yourself because you can't get in it. Or can you? I've never tried. I've never gotten into the goal if I missed it. You have to stand in this one specific spot, otherwise you lose. And I think that's kind of dumb to have trial and error in a game like this. However, thankfully, unlike SMB1, you can have up to 99 lives in this game. But even if you don't have those lives and you end up losing all your lives because you don't know where the goal is going to land, that would be really unfortunate. So sorry, Teapot, you're going to go to the D tier. Keep not putting you in the F tier because it's cool. The Teapot looks cool. I don't know, shiny. But those are the advanced extra stages. Now let's start the expert stages. These stages will be really fun. You can already tell. Alright, let's start the expert stages with a new gimmick called the Wormhole, and the stage is called the Wormhole. Wormholes are a cool concept. They bring you from one stage to the other. I think that's pretty cool, and Wormhole does that justice, bringing you to the top section. But there are wires at the end, but it's actually a cool wire, just your average thin wire. Wormhole is actually probably going to go in the A tier. Next up is Free Fall, and Free Fall is pretty fun. And the green goal is actually not that difficult too, and you also get to skip a sucky stage with the green goal. So Free Fall, I also put in the A tier. Melting Pot, however, is very boring and random stage. It's kind of hard to control yourself because the stage just moves around constantly, and also you get 30 seconds for some reason. Why? Why not 60? But I don't know, you just move around in these balls and it's hard to control. And yeah, not a fan of Melting Pot. Ironic how the two stages that have 30 seconds in this game have the word pot in them. So Melting Pot, next to its other pot brother, Teapot, is going in the D tier. Match Shuffle is next, and this one has an interesting switch mechanic where you land on the fast forward switch, as a lot of stages here, but the play switch is behind the wormhole that's in front of you. Ooh, spooky. I don't know, Match Shuffle's okay. You just gotta memorize the pattern, honestly. That's pretty much it. If you memorize it, then you memorize it. So, Match Shuffle in the C tier, honestly. Partition is probably the only good bonus stage in this game. Partition's a maze level with a wormhole, and the bananas are pretty fun to get, actually. It's just, yeah, a regular maze stage, and it's not a crazy, annoying maze stage. Partition's a fun stage. I'd actually put Partition in the S tier as well, for being the definition of a good bonus stage. I don't know why these stages have the amusement park background if we're going by challenge mode backgrounds, but Jump Machine is next, and Jump Machine is actually pretty hard if you're trying to get the green or red goal. And even the blue goal too, because the blue goal is like right behind you. Like most people don't even figure that out. I think the red goal is pretty cool to get though, and it's cool to see how high you go. So I put Jump Machine in the B tier, honestly. And I know I'm gonna get flamed for that because Jump Machine is a pretty hated stage. 6X Slope is also a hated stage. It's also extremely boring and the slopes are really annoying, and this is like Curvebridge but with zigzags, I guess. I don't know, Zigzag Slope goes into F tier. Sorry, Zigzag Slope. But Tower is fun. It's a cool wormhole level and you get to drop down a tower, which kind of looks like a Jenga tower. I like Tower. I actually really like this stage a lot, and I put Tower in the A tier, honestly. And Toggle is next, and Toggle sucks, but it's fun to go fast on it, I guess. So B tier? I don't know, the stage is a little bit annoying, but yeah. Pachinko. Pachinko sucks. It lags if you're playing PS2 Deluxe, first of all. It lags if you play emulator and you have a bad PC. And if you're not, this stage also just sucks, and it's really easy to miss the goal. And I thought this was a bonus stage. Why is it so hard to get bananas again? Pachinko is also going in the F tier. And now we reach the clock tower levels from Combination. Combination has another interesting switch mechanic that you press the fast forward switch, go through the wormhole, and go behind you, and then drop onto a platform with the play switch. And then you go back in the wormhole, and you just land on the thing, and you should land on a spot near the goal if you know what you're doing. Combination's average. I never really gave this stage much thought, so I put it in the C tier, honestly. Punched Seesaws, or as my friends like to call them, Sunched Seesaws, is a fun stage, and it's a pretty easy seesaw stage. And there's a really easy green goal, but I think the green goal should have been a little harder, because it's just the blue goal path, but you just do it again. But once again, you use this green goal to skip a boring stage, which is good. So, Sunched Seesaws is going to go in the B tier. I'd give it that. Opera is next, and Opera is a very long and winding level. I'm so glad in Touch and Roll they split the stage into two parts, because the stage is just very long, and if you mess up towards the end, you gotta do all the way in the beginning again. Opera is an okay level, honestly. It's going in the D tier. Brandish is a cool level. You just gotta hold up for 4 seconds and then let go, and you should be able to get in the goal. Or not. It's kind of random, and Brandish is... I don't like random stages in Monkey Ball, because you get a limited amount of lives, and it sucks to lose those lives quickly. But it's cool that there's a thing just spinning around. I don't know. Brandish is going into D tier as well. Tears is next, and here's another option stage. The red goal is really hard for this one. I don't know how people do it. I just really don't. It's just so thin. How do people do it? And not to mention, the curves are slanted as well. The green goal is also pretty hard to get, but the blue goal is not so bad. The curves actually make the blue goal path easier, the tilted curves, because you get to go faster on it, because the curves tilt inward. So I think the stage is fun to go fast on the blue goal path. The red goal path is pretty hard, and you skip 2 decent stages with it anyway. So, I don't know, tiers, I'm gonna put it in the C tier, ironically, because this is called Tears. Anyways, Cliffs is next, and Cliffs is you just go down a bunch of ramps and land in the next one. It's pretty easy. I don't have much to say about this one. I'm probably gonna put Cliffs in the B tier. Narrow Peaks is next, and I don't have much to say about this one either. It's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, I'd put Narrow Peaks in the A tier, honestly. I like playing this one. You get to go fast on this one too, it's cool. Detour is next, and Detour is actually a pretty fun level. It's a nice wormhole gimmicky level. You go down the wormhole and end up on the top. And you can also get a green goal, which skips probably the worst stage in the game, and that green goal is a little bit difficult, but it's not so bad. I put Detour in the A tier. And speaking of worst stages in the game, we have Switch Inferno. I have no idea what the developers were thinking with this one. I think there are 4 correct switches that raise the goal up, but who thought this was a good idea, that if you press the wrong switch, it'll kill you or send you down below? But most of the time you die because the stage was not designed correctly. It's just like, if the internet didn't exist, you'd be stuck on this stage for hours. You'd be losing so many lives. You'd lose so much time on this one. Switch Inferno, why do you exist, buddy? Z tier for you. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Earthquake is next. In Earthquake, you can get a decent amount of bananas, but it's still really difficult to. Honestly, Earthquake's going in the C tier. Alright, we're getting closer to the end of Expert, and we're going to start off with Spiral Bridge. Spiral Bridge is an alright level. It just spins. It's kind of difficult. I don't have much to say about it. It's going in the C tier. Meanwhile, Wavy Option is the next options level, and I think it's better than Curvy Options because you get to go fast on it. But I feel like Curvy Option should have been the expert stage, and Wavy Option, the advanced one. I don't know. It was weird where they put this stage, honestly. But Wavy Options is going to go in the C tier because it's not much better than Curvy Options, but it's not that bad. Obstacle is a really cool concept, actually, for a stage. You get to ride up that platform and then drop down, and then use that little bump to propel you into the goal. I think it's a really cool concept, and it really shows your true expert skills, so I'm going to put it in the A tier. Domino is kind of easy for expert, but if you take too long, the stage will collapse, so that's pretty interesting. I like the whole quote-unquote domino effect on this one. I'd probably put Domino in the A tier as well. Civ is next, and Civ is a pretty interesting level where you just gotta avoid the gates that go in and out. The last path that's kind of thin is a little bit difficult, but it's not so bad. But I don't know, this stage is okay. I'm gonna put Civ in the C tier. Next stage sucks. Flock. Flock is just a bunch of squares moving up and down, and it takes forever because these squares move at random paces within each other, and I don't know if I should put this one in the F tier or the Z tier. I know a lot of people would say Z tier because a lot of people hate this stage, but I don't hate it that much, so I'm just going to put it in the F tier. And also double spiral kind of sucks too, because double spiral, if you take the wrong path, you don't get the goal. Like, why isn't there 2 goals on this level is beyond me. There's only one, so if you take the wrong path, that's it, dude. Like, what's the point? And in the top path, there's no point in taking it either. There's no warp goal or anything. Or is there? Wow, it's been a while since I played double spiral. But yeah, honestly, double spiral is going into D tier. Hierarchy is next, and Hierarchy's a cool level, I guess. You get to go down holes and they get bigger or something. It's okay. There's not much to it, honestly. I'd probably just give Hierarchy a C tier because it's just average to me. The C tier is average for me. 8 Bracelets is next, and I hate 8 Bracelets and its harder counterpart in Super Monkey Ball 13 Bracelets, and a lot of people know my hatred for that stage. So 8 Bracelets itself isn't fun either. It's just, I'm not good with that type of momentum, honestly. When I was a kid, I could never get the red goal. I can get it now, but it just, I could only get the green goal, honestly. Yeah, I'm not a fan of 8 Bracelets, honestly. Putting it in the D tier as well. And now we have the second worst bonus stage of the game, banana hunting. Like, it's so difficult to get the bananas, but it's called banana hunting. Like, I feel like if you try to get like 3 bananas, you just don't feel like doing it anymore. It's so hard to get them, honestly. Banana hunting is not fun, honestly. I'm just gonna put it in the F tier. I'm sorry, banana hunting. But you, Leveler, and Pachinko are not fun bonus stages. Pistons is next, and I don't like this stage either. It's just, sometimes I try to stand in the safe spots, but I still get launched anyway. Maybe I'm not playing the stage right. And sometimes if you land on the Pistons, if you land in between the Pistons, you have to wait until you die because there's no way out. Yeah, Pistons is just it's not the wave, honestly. Pistons is going in the F tier as well. Soft Cream is alright, honestly. It's kind of like Twist and Spin from SMB1, but a little bit harder. Soft Cream is okay. I can't really say much about it. C tier. Momentum is next, and Momentum is very hard. And it's one of, I just realized like a lot of the volcano stages aren't fun. But Momentum is probably one of the more fun ones I'll give you. So, I think I'm just gonna put Momentum in C tier, honestly. Entangled Path, however, kind of sucks, but I don't think it's F tier material. I think it's D tier material, and you do have to wait a long time for the thing to align, which kind of sucks. There's a warp goal that skips a really easy stage, and that warp goal is kind of hard to get. And sometimes you can get party balled off the goal if you're going really fast on Entangled Path. But I don't think it's absolutely atrocious. I can do this one consistently, so I'm probably just going to put Entangled Path in the D tier. Totters is next, and Totters is really easy, and it's kind of a hold-up, but not really. It's kind of fun, so I'll put Totters in the B tier. Vortex, however, sucks. I hate this stage. I'm never good at it. I can never get the green goal in this one. All my friends can get the green goal in this one. Everyone does so well in this one, but I suck at Vortex. Hate this stage with a passion. I hate Vortex. This stage could have been so much better. F tier. I'm sorry. Warp. It's Warp. What else can I say? Everyone hates the stage. It's kind of like Bent Floor from SMB1, but there's bumpers. Cool, I guess. Bumpers, yay. Yeah, I don't know. Warp kind of sucks as well. F tier. Trampolines is a cool level. I don't know why it's in late expert. I don't know why story mode gives this one a 10 out of 10 difficulty because it's not hard. It's pretty fun though. I actually like trampolines. I put this in the A tier. Trampolines. And I have a trampoline in my backyard, but it's kind of broken, so I don't use it anymore. Swing Shaft is next, and this is one of the few stages that has a difference between story mode and challenge mode. In challenge mode, it's faster, and story mode, it's slower. It's pretty easy. The boxes kind of help you with the swing. I don't know. Yeah, Swing Shaft is pretty fun. I put it in the A tier, honestly. It's a nice swing level. Oh gosh, it's getting a pain just to scroll all the way up to the A tier. Fighters. Fighters, you know how I said Leveler, Pachinko, and Banana Hunting were F tier bonus stages? Well, I don't know if you thought anything could get worse than that, but Fighters actually takes the cake, and it'll be on the Z tier. Because Amusement Vision had one job with this level, to actually see the fighters. You don't see the fighters, because first of all, you don't land on the play switch. Or you do land on the play switch, because the animation isn't started unless you land on the PlayStation. Wow. Play switch. Yeah, so if you go to view stage, you can't see the fighters fight. You just see them standing still, and you can barely see the fighters fight if you stay on the stage. The only way you can see them is if you hack the game and change the camera and have manual camera on. Also, the bananas in this stage are like almost non-existent. They just drop from the sky and you can barely get them. They just slide off the stage. Ugh, fighters. Nobody likes this stage. Worst bonus stage in the entire series, I'm sorry. Well, maybe there's a couple of step and roll bonus stages that suck, but... Serial Jump is next. I don't know why Toothy didn't put the whale background for these levels. So there are no whale icons, I just realized. Rip the whale from Monkey Ball 2. Oh well. Serial Jump is next, and red goal is actually really easy to do. It's good for speedrunning, and the green goal is not that bad, and the blue goal is pretty fun, honestly. I'm probably going to put Serial Jump at the B tier, though, because this stage just, I don't know, it just looks eh. I don't really like the next stage. Cross floors is kind of annoying, because I feel like you can screw up your rhythm a lot on this one. It's, I don't know, I've never been a fan of cross floors, honestly. I'm probably going to put cross floors in the C tier for cross floors. Spinning Saw is next. And this is kind of a hold up stage, but you gotta let go at the end. But if you miss that goal, and if you hit like the rim or the goalpost, you're probably just gonna have to like chill for a bit and try to use your momentum to get into the goal. Spinning Top's okay, honestly. Put it in the C tier as well. Chipped Pipes is kind of fun. The green goal is pretty much the same as the blue goal, but it's a little bit higher, I guess. I think it's a cool stage, and the green goal skips a really stupid stage as well, so I'm going to put Chipped Pipes in the A tier. And Flat Maze is next. It's probably one of the worst maze stages, because if you do it the normal way, you'll most likely run out of time. You kind of have to go fast on this one. And even going fast is kind of difficult, and I just dread playing Flat Maze all the time. Putting Flat Maze in the D tier, honestly. Guillotine is next, and Guillotine's a pretty cool level. It's the first couple ramps can get a little frustrating because they're kind of steep, but after that it gets a lot easier. I think it's a cool late game stage, so I'm probably going to put Guillotine in the A tier. And a lot of people might disagree with me on that, but that's okay. Oh, why am I highlighting them? Corkscrew is next, and Corkscrew is kind of like Coaster in a way, and Curl Pipe. It's like a mashup between them. It's fun to go fast on this one, honestly, and it's not that hard to avoid the hole, so I'm probably going to put Corkscrew in the B tier. Orbiters is next, and Orbiters it's just average, honestly, to me. You don't do much on it. It's pretty easy, too. Same with Twin Basin. I feel like that's a pretty forgettable stage, and it's just very simple. And it's a little bit tricky when you first start it, but it's not that bad, honestly. And then you have Air Hockey, which is honestly a very disappointing final expert stage. Like, Metamorphosis is a really cool expert stage, and Air Hockey is just not fun. I feel like 9 times out of 10 I missed the goal at the beginning. It has the same strat for Brandished, but it's just more inconsistent, and once you miss the goal the first time, it's going to be really hard for you to get it again. So honestly, not a fan of Air Hockey. Could have been better, but I'm gonna put in the F tier. I'm sorry, Air Hockey. I don't need it. But these are the expert stages. Look how many stages we have on the tier list already. We still got Expert Extra, Master, and Master Extra, and the Story Mode exclusive stages. So let's get started with Expert Extra. And we start Expert Extra with Charge. Charge is a cool concept. I've seen a bunch of custom stages where you have to build up speed and then go through a wormhole to keep building up speed and then go up. But Charge is probably the best one, honestly. I know like Speedway and Propulsion Drive are custom stages that do something similar, but I like Charge the best, honestly. Charge is a cool concept, and it's pretty fun, honestly. However, sometimes you can clip through the bumps, and that can get annoying. But I think Charge is a decent expert extra level, so I'm going to put Charge in the B tier. Strata is next, and I've never been good at this one. I know when I raced with my friends in the Monkey Ball Deluxe race, I got stuck on Strata for a little while. The red goal is also really hard for me to do, but I think it's an alright level. I could probably put Strata in the C tier. Puzzle is next, and in Deluxe, this stage is called Square Dance, so I'm just gonna call it Square Dance. But this stage is really easy for Expert Extra. It's a cool puzzle, Square Dance. I love the pun for that too. But it's just really easy for Expert Extra. But overall, it's a fun stage, so I'm probably gonna put it in B tier. Wow, it's getting really big. Giant Swing is next, and Giant Swing is okay level. It's not really a swing, it's more like a trampoline because you gotta use on it to propel you upwards. Sometimes the swing can just bring you down. I don't know, Giant Swing, putting in the C or D tier. I feel like at this point, I don't even really know where to put stuff. Because I'm trying to appreciate these stages, but I also just don't like a lot of them towards the end. Maybe I'm biased towards hard stages, I don't know. 5 drums is not fun, honestly. This stage just gives me so much trouble sometimes. Sometimes I'm gonna run towards the goal and then some random pillar just hits me off the stage. I'm like, bro, are you serious? So, I don't know, 5 drums is not fun, putting in the F tier. Free throw is pretty fun though, and I think it's cool to get the red goal on this one. And I love the way the basketball hoops look. It looks pretty cool. It's literally just basketball. I think it's a really creative concept. It's fun. It's got cool warp goals, cool strategies. I'm probably gonna put free throw in the A tier, or maybe is this S tier material? No, I'm gonna put. You know what? I'm gonna put it in the S tier for all the respect of all basketball players. I don't play basketball myself, but Pendulums is next, and Pendulums kind of sucks. It's kind of long and kind of tricky in the beginning. And the fast forward switch makes this one a little bit annoying sometimes. I'm probably just gonna Pendulums in the D tier, and then Conical Slider, or Conical, I don't know how to pronounce it honestly, probably Conical. It's, you just go down a slider that goes down a cone and then use the wormhole to propel you into the other wormhole at the beginning. So you can bounce up and make it to the goal. And this stage is kind of like a harder version of Spiral Hard from SMB1, and I don't really like Spiral Hard, so I don't really like this stage either. I think it's a really creative concept. It's kind of similar to Charge in a way. They have to go fast to go through the wormhole to hit a bump to make it to the goal. It's a really cool concept, but it gets annoying towards the end, towards the bottom of it. So I'm probably gonna put Conical Slider in the D tier. And Construction, I also do not like. It's basically a rotating maze level, and if you don't know where you're going, the stage can be really frustrating. And also, where the switches are placed at the beginning kind of throws you off, because you could accidentally land on the reverse switch, the fast forward switch, or the rewind switch. I don't know anyone who does any of them. I always just do the play switch for this one, but I don't really like Construction. And similar to Ring Bridges in the PS2 version of Deluxe, it's an all-space background. But a lot of Expert Extra is not fun. I'm probably just going to put Construction in the D tier, and then Train Worm is actually going to go to the Z tier, because Train Worm is probably one of the most frustrating stages in this game, because it's just like air hockey, it's super random, but it's a lot worse. If you miss the goal the first time, you're just going to keep going around and around, and the goal actually might even hurt you in this one, and the Train Worm might just hit you off, and I don't know, this stage is full of random shenanigans, and I hate it so much. I'm sorry, Train Worm, but you're going to get it. Expert Extra, honestly, overall is not fun. But Master and Master actually get a little better. And yeah, I don't know. Let's start with the Master stages, and this should be fun. And we're finally leaving the space colony with the last 5 stages, Centrifugal being the first. Centrifugal is actually probably one of my favorite Master stages. You get to go fast on it. The only problem is if you don't know how to control yourself, you're gonna go flying. That's why it's called Centrifugal, because you gotta use centrifugal motion. So honestly, Centrifugal, I'm gonna probably put it in the A tier, but I gotta go all the way up, man, it's crazy. Swing Bridges is fun. It's got a similar warp goal path like Junction where you have to go behind you, but I don't know if you can do the warp goal the normal way, honestly. I've never seen anyone do the Wormhole the normal way, only the fastest way, same with me. But I actually like swing bridges, that's awesome fun. I'm probably also going to put swing bridges in the A tier. And I feel like a lot of people might disagree. Cylinders is next, and cylinders sucks. It's really hard to do this level the normal way, and even if you do it the fast way, it's kind of hard to do, and I don't know, nobody I know likes the stage, honestly. Sorry, cylinders, you're going with D tier. And that is why I use swing bridges to skip the stage. Passage is next, and Passage is a cool level. It's pretty fun, actually. I think it's a nice level that utilizes corner crossing and timing very well. It also has a really neat warp goal that's pretty hidden and a little bit challenging to get. And I think this stage is worth being called a master stage. Also, the warp goal skips a really stupid stage. So Passage is actually going to go with the A tier as well. Oh shoot, where is it? I'm losing it, dude. I have 3 rows of A tiers, 2 rows of B tiers, 3 rows of C tiers, 3 rows of D tiers so far. Oh gosh. And the last stage of the space colony is Notch. Notch sucks because if you go to the stage right away, you have this really teensy tiny frame you gotta do to make it to the goal, and it's super hard. If you don't, you gotta wait a long time for the stage to rotate again, and it's still pretty hard, pretty dumb, honestly. Sorry, Notch, but you're gonna go in the D tier. Next stage is Intermittent, and you know, this stage is cool, I guess. You get to go through bumps, and they get smaller. It's such a cool concept on paper, right? And it's a good challenging stage. However, the collision on this stage is awful, and 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to miss the bumps, especially the last 2, which will screw you up a lot. Intermittent is a stage that, if it was just fixed properly, it would have been a lot better, so I'm probably going to put Intermittent in the C tier. Long Taurus is next, and I'm not too much of a fan of Long Taurus. I don't really like cylinder balance stages, that's why I don't like cylinders, or Notch, and Long Taurus does the same thing, honestly. Yeah, I don't know, Long Taurus is okay. I feel like it's really hard to get the goal, though. It's really stupid. Sometimes I will jump down to the goal at the end, and I will miss it. I will hit the rim or the goal post, and I will die, or I'll get party involved. Long Taurus isn't fun. And fun fact about Super Mario Ball 2-in-1, 2D made a stage that was cylinders, and it's basically cylinders and Long Taurus into one stage. That stage is a nightmare. I'm putting Long Taurus in the D tier. Spasmodic is next, and Spasmodic is a master stage that has a hold up strat. Interesting. You gotta wait like about 1.5 seconds and then just hold up and you win. And if not, you'll probably die or get thrown off. And I don't think there's any other way to beat this level. You can't do this one the slow way. This one moves way too fast. Spasmodic is a cool level though. Probably just gonna put it in C tier because it's average to me. I like Double Twin. Double Twin is fun. I think it's a interesting level. Yeah, I don't know. Double Twin's cool. You get to go fast on it, you can go slow on it. A lot of decent banana bunches for some one-ups. I'm probably just gonna put Double Twin in the B tier. Next up is Clock Face, the final master stage. And Clock Face is, it's not bad. It's not hard. That's the problem though. It's not hard, and it's a master stage. And I know I complain about hard stages a lot, and now I'm complaining that there's not a hard stage, and you guys are like, Charon, just make up your mind already. Well, the thing about Clock Face is it looks cool, right? And I feel like it has so much potential to be a nice hard master stage, but just, to me, this stage was always easier for me, and it's also Master 10, so it should be like intimidating in a way, right? I don't know, this stage is not hard at all, but I like the concept of the Clock Face. I'm probably just going to put it in the C tier. And those are the Master stages. Master has some pretty interesting stages, right? Now let's go to Master Extra, which this should be fun. Alright, Master Extra 1 is Variable Width. Variable Width kind of sucks, honestly. It's very hard to get the goal up towards the end because the wires at the end can kind of throw you off. And also the stages move up and down very quickly, and it can just also throw you off. But yeah, the stages just exist to throw you off your momentum. Variable Width is an alright level though, so I'm also going to put it in the C tier. Striker is next, and Striker is the definition of a master stage that shouldn't be in master. It's really easy for master, and even the red goal is also really easy. And the red goal actually skips 2 really dumb stages as well. Yeah, I don't know. I just realized too, Master Extra has a lot of warp goals for some reason. You couldn't do Master Extra while only playing like 5 stages, I believe. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about Striker, but Striker's an alright level. It's fun, but it should not be in Master. But I'm not ranking based on where they're placed, so I'm going to put Striker in the B tier. Ooparts is next. Ooparts is an okay level, I guess. It's just a rotating O. Because, why not? I never really think much of the stage because I always skip it with Striker. So I'm just going to put Ooparts in the C tier. Most people don't like it though. And honestly, every time I play it, I do kind of dread it, so I'm going to put it in the D tier. Planets is next. It's like Sanctuary from SMB1, but a lot harder. Especially the red goal, where you have to like soar into it. The red goal skips some interesting stages though. Most people just skip the stage with Striker though. But Planets is an alright stage. It's pretty forgettable though. I'm just going to put it in the C tier. Sliced Cheese is next, and this is a pretty interesting master extra level. A lot of people like this one. You just go through holes, I guess, and the second one moves faster. I guess that's fun, right? Sliced Cheese is not a bad level. I actually really like Sliced Cheese. I think it's master difficulty hard, and it can get a little frustrating, but once you learn how to do it, it's not that bad. Honestly, Sliced Cheese, I'm going to put it in the A tier. 8 Seesaws is next. It's just a harder version of linear seesaws. It's not even super difficult, really. I think it's like good for master extra difficulty. Linear seesaws was okay, but I think 8 Seesaws is a lot funner. So where did I put linear seesaws? I put it in C tier. I think 8 Seesaws is one higher, so I'm gonna put 8 Seesaws in the B tier. Synchronized is one of the worst stages of the game. If you miss that banana bunch, you have no idea where the goals are going to go. And without that indicator, you're screwed. And sometimes you might get the green goal by accident. And if you're doing a first time run where you want to see all the stages, that will be really frustrating. I don't really like the stage. You can't really see the goals. It's really hard to predict where they're going. It's kind of dumb. Honestly, F tier for Synchronized. Helix is hard, and it's considered one of the hardest stages in SMB2. I don't think it is. I think the hardest stage is actually the next stage. But Helix is very hard. You go down a spiral, I guess, and it's also a half pipe. Yeah, that's it. And there's a green goal for some reason, and you can drop down, so that's cool, I guess. But Helix is eh. I'm putting in the D tier. And Dizzy System. This stage is the complete definition of a random stage. You literally just move around, get tossed and turned all over the place. I do not like the stage at all. I hate Dizzy System. It reminds me of the Teacups ride from amusement parks, but it does not do those rides justice, honestly. This stage is so random and I can't, bro. Dizzy System is Z tier material. And now we reach the final stage of challenge mode, Nintendo, which arguably is probably the coolest final stage I've ever seen in any Monkey Ball game. Even Monkey Ball Hacks, honestly, I still think Nintendo is the coolest one. Yeah, sorry, Grand Finale. But I want to put this one in S tier so badly because of how cool it is. It's just, you're on a GameCube. Isn't that so cool? But that's the reason why it's also flawed. You're on a GameCube. So when the GameCube rotates and you end up stuck in between the controller ports or like, I don't know, between the handles, like, it can get kind of annoying, honestly. And it's super dumb sometimes. Some of the ways you get stuck are just so dumb on this level, but it's such a cool concept for a final stage to be on the Nintendo GameCube. So, I'm sorry, Nintendo GameCube is not going on S tier, but it's going on A tier. And it seems like we're done. I think these are all the challenge mode stages. Oh, but wait, there are 10 exclusive story mode stages that are all in World 10. Well, I'm sure this won't be so bad to do. A lot of these stages are very difficult actually. Not as difficult as the master stages, but some are, and some are just frustrating. So let's get to these final 10 stages. Alright, Master Action 1 is variable width. Variable width kind of sucks, honestly. It's very hard to get the goal towards the end because the wires at the end can kind of throw you off, and also the stages move up and down very quickly, and it could just also throw you off. But yeah, the stages just exist to throw you off your momentum. Variable width is an alright level though, so I'm also going to put it in the C tier. Striker is next, and Striker is the definition of a master stage that shouldn't be in master. It's really easy for master, and even the red goal is also really easy. And the red goal actually skips 2 really dumb stages as well. Yeah, I don't know. I just realized too, Master Extra has a lot of warp goals for some reason. You can do Master Extra while only playing like 5 stages, I believe. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about Striker, but Striker's an alright level. It's fun, but it should not be in Master. But I'm not ranking based on where they're placed, so I'm putting up at Striker in the beat. Ooh Parts is next. Ooh Parts is an okay level, I guess. It's just a rotating O, because why not? I never really think much of the stage because I always skip it with Striker, so I'm just gonna put Ooh Parts in the C tier. Most people don't like it though, and honestly every time I play it I do kind of dread it, so I'm gonna put it in the D tier. Planets is next. It's like Sanctuary from SMB1 but a lot harder, especially the red goal where you have to like soar into it. The red goal skips some interesting stages though. Most people just skip the stage with Striker though. But Planets is an alright stage. It's pretty forgettable though. I'm just gonna put it in the C tier. Sliced Cheese is next, and this is a pretty interesting Master Extra level. A lot of people like this one. You just go through holes, I guess, and the second one moves faster. I guess that's fun, right? Sliced Cheese is not a bad level. I actually really like Sliced Cheese. I think it's Master difficulty hard, and it can get a little frustrating, but once you learn how to do it, it's not that bad. Honestly, Sliced Cheese, I'm gonna put it in the A tier. 8 Seesaws is next. It's just a harder version of linear seesaws. It's not even super difficult, really. I think it's like good for Master Extra difficulty. Linear seesaws was okay, but I think 8 Seesaws is a lot funner. So where did I put linear seesaws? I put it in C tier. I think 8 Seesaws is one higher, so I'm gonna put 8 Seesaws in the B tier. Synchronized is one of the worst stages of the game. If you miss that banana bunch, you have no idea where the goals are going to go. And without that indicator, you're screwed. And sometimes you might get the green goal by accident, and if you're doing a first time run where you want to see all the stages, that would be really frustrating. I don't really like the stage. You can't really see the goals. It's really hard to predict where they're going. It's kind of dumb. Honestly, F tier for Synchronized. Helix is hard, and it's considered one of the hardest stages in SMB2. I don't think it is. I think the hardest stage is actually the next stage. But Helix is very hard. You go down a spiral, I guess, and it's also a half pipe. Or, yeah, that's it. And there's a green goal for some reason, and you can drop down, so that's cool, I guess. But Helix is eh. I'm putting it in the D tier. And Dizzy System. This stage is the complete definition of a random stage. You literally just move around, get tossed and turned all over the place. I do not like this stage at all. I hate Dizzy System. It reminds me of the Teacups ride from amusement parks, but it does not do those rides justice, honestly. This stage is so random and I can't, bro. Dizzy System is Z tier material. And now we reach the final stage of challenge mode, Nintendo, which arguably is probably the coolest final stage I've ever seen in any Monkey Ball game. Even Monkey Ball Hacks, honestly, I still think Nintendo is the coolest one. Yeah, sorry, Grand Finale. But I want to put this one in S tier so badly because of how cool it is. It's just, you're on a GameCube, isn't that so cool? But that's the reason why it's also flawed. You're on a GameCube. So when the GameCube rotates and you end up stuck in between the controller ports or like, I don't know, between the handles, like, it can get kind of annoying, honestly, and it's super dumb sometimes. Some of the ways you get stuck are just so dumb on this level, but it's such a cool concept for a final stage to be on the Nintendo GameCube. So I'm sorry, Nintendo GameCube is not going on S tier, but it's going on A tier. And it seems like we're done. I think these are all the challenge mode stages. Oh, but wait, there are 10 exclusive story mode stages that are all in World 10. Well, I'm sure this won't be so bad to do. A lot of these stages are very difficult, actually. Not as difficult as the Master stages, but some are. And some are just frustrating, so let's get to these final 10 stages. Alright, now it's time for the World 10 stages. Let's start with training. Why is this in World 10? This is the final world of story mode. Why is this stage so easy? It's an option stage just like Wavy Option and Curvy Options, but it's not... It's more like straight options or peak options, I don't know. Yeah, it's really easy, honestly, for World 10, but honestly, it's the best option stage. So where did I put Wavy Option? C tier. Training's going in B tier. Gimmick is next. Gimmick sucks. This stage is really long. It takes you the whole 60 seconds. And when you're first starting this stage out, you're going to be super confused of how to play it. It's super confusing. I need to use a walkthrough. And I think if you need to use a walkthrough to beat a stage, it's not very good. But then again, that could be a biased opinion. I'm probably just going to put Gimmick in the F tier. Mountain is a cool stage too, but if it wasn't in story mode, it would suck because you would lose a bunch of lives because this is a trial and error stage. Thankfully, it's exclusive to story mode, so you don't have to worry about that. But it is trial and error, and I don't really like that at the end of the day. The mountain moves really fast, and I don't know. I probably would just put Mountain in the D tier. Disorder is next, and Disorder is pretty simple. It's just a bunch of lines everywhere, I guess, that are all over the place. It's not hard, it's not unfun, it's okay, honestly. Disorder is probably going to go in C tier. 3D Maze. A lot of people hate the stage, and I kind of agree. I don't know. What about this maze is 3D? It's just pillars that rotate, honestly. Yeah, I don't really like the stage. It's kind of annoying sometimes, so... But it's not super bad. I put it in C tier. Labyrinth, or Crazy Maze, depending on the version you're playing. Super insane maze level. It's super hard to know where you're going, and it's so frustrating to... Yeah, you really need a walkthrough for this one. It's going to be super difficult to figure out on your own, because there's only one path out of this maze. It's just a lot, dude. Not a fan of Crazy Maze or Labyrinth. This is probably going to be F tier. And the next stage isn't much better either. Postmodern also sucks. It's kind of like Labyrinth in a way that it's a little bit mazy, but you have to go a bunch of stairs. You have to go up a bunch of stairs. And if we know anything from stairs from SMB1, going upstairs is not fun. And yeah, this stage is just not fun at all. Nobody likes Postmodern, honestly. Why is it even called that in the first place? F tier, sorry. Revolution's next. Also don't like this stage. It's so annoying, honestly. The stage just keeps flipping, and sometimes it can be confusing where to go, and yeah, a lot of the World 10 stages are not good, honestly, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not a fan of Revolution, but I'm not going to put it in the F tier. I'm going to put it in the D tier, because it's alright. Invisible. Everyone loves this one. Not only is it a logo stage which everyone hates, but also part of it's invisible, and if you don't know how to spell, I guess, this stage isn't for you. I don't know. Invisible is a hard level. It's also a dumb level, because you just gotta walk on invisible platforms, and, you know, everyone hates invisible stages, and I can't blame them. It can be very frustrating. I don't really like invisible either, but I also do like the concept. I do like the creativity they put on this level. I want to give this one F tier or D tier. I don't know, man. If only I had an E tier, I probably should have made one. I think Invisible is going to go in the F tier. And last but not least, the final story mode stage created by It's another Amusement Vision logo stage, but this one's better. The ramps in the beginning kind of suck, but I look past them because this is a cool final stage. You can either use the play switch to rotate the logo so you can hop on it, or you don't even really need to do that either. Created by is a really cool final stage. It's a good shout out to the developers of this. So Created by is going to go in A tier. Created by and Nintendo are kind of similar. Cool final stages, but they all have BS stuff in it. Anyways, that is my Super Monkey Ball 2 tier list. Let's see, S tier we have Holo sliders, Gravity Slider, Long Slider, Partition, and Free Throw. And the bottom of the bottom is Dome, Switch Inferno Fighters, Trainworm, and Dizzy System. Super Monkey Ball 2 has got an interesting assortment of levels. I think a lot of the levels are really cool, but a lot of levels are very frustrating. And World 10 and Master Extra and Expert Extra are a little bit dumb sometimes, but you gotta love this game, guys. Super Monkey Ball 2 is considered the best game in the franchise, and I don't doubt that for a second. This is a really great game, and the stages are really great. I love them to death. This game will always be forever in my heart, and that's why I love being a Monkey Ball YouTuber and showing Monkey Ball 2 hacks. But yeah, let me know if you agree with this list or if you disagree. I feel like a lot of you would disagree with my choices. I don't know why, but I think next up I will probably do Adventure or either Touch and Roll. Let me know what would you want me to do next. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next video. Bye!